And we are on Facebook and we're on Zoom. Fantastic. Welcome everyone to Astrological Secrets of the Hebrew Months, Part 2. Now, if you haven't watched Part 1, that's okay. You can still catch Part 1 of this discussion. It's available on YouTube and it's on Facebook and Instagram. I'm the most watchable person in the world, I think. So I'm available there. You don't have to have watched Part 1 in order to understand Part 2. We're going to do a little short recap of some of the main ideas. But after watching this class, if you enjoy it, I would highly recommend just get some more background information and some context to go back and do watch Part 1 of this. But do not worry if you haven't, because this is a stand-alone class. So let's just recap very briefly on some of the ideas from last class. Let me just let some people from the waiting room. That's great. Thank you so much, Jessica, for doing that. And last class, we spoke about the idea of the mazalot. The mazalot are the astrological signs. Actually, the word mazal tov, the expression mazal tov, doesn't mean good luck, we said last class, because there's no idea of luck in Judaism. That's not a Jewish concept. When we say mazal tov, we're saying one of two things. From the lashon of nizul, things should flow well for you. It's actually a bracha, it's a prayer. You're giving somebody, right, they're about to get married, or they are getting married, or they've had a child. We say mazal tov, things should flow well for you. But really, the literal translation is that the mazalot should be aligned well for you. That means all the astrological signs. Because the moment a person is born, or they take on a certain task, there is a time of day which has a mazal, and there is a Hebrew month, which is going to be our discussion today, that has a mazal as well, a certain energy that comes with that month. There's certain times of the year we want to do things, and certain times of the year in Judaism, we don't want to do things like get married or get involved in business dealings. So we're going to watch out for that as we go through. We also spoke about Avraham Avinu, Abraham, who realized astrologically, he was very aware of this wisdom. Abraham realized that he wasn't going to be able to father a child through his wife Sarah. And therefore he turned to God and said, what am I going to do? And God said, don't worry, Avram cannot, but Avraham can. And he changed, as it were, the mazal, the astrological power that surrounded Avram Avinu, Abraham, and he gave him the ability to rise above the stars. And so too his descendants, that's us. We are above the mazalot. We're above the zodiac. We have the ability and the power to rise above any astrological predictions. And we even gave a wild story about Rabbi Akiva, who was told by an astrologer. He didn't seek out this information. An astrologer met him and put this information onto him and said, your daughter is going to die on her wedding day. And her wedding day came and went, and she lived. And he realized that she had done chesed. She had done a beautiful act of kindness on her wedding day, that she fed a poor person. And actually, she should have died by a serpent's bite. There was a dangerous, viperous snake in her room where she was getting ready to get married. And she had the fortunate ability to kill that snake without even realizing it with a hairpin. And that's what made her survive. And Rabbi Akiva said, you see, great acts of kindness can overcome even astrological predictions. And that was all last week. What we're going to do this week is something unbelievable. We're going to go through every one of the Hebrew months, because each month has a certain energy, a pattern, and actually a tribe that comes with, because there's 12 months of the year, and there are 12 Jewish tribes, and each one of those tribes is aligned with a different Jewish month. The names of the month that we're going to look at actually are not Hebrew. They're not even written in the Torah. The Torah doesn't give names for the Hebrew months. It numbers them, just like the days of the week besides Shabbat are numbered. Day 1 is Sunday, day 2 is Monday, and so on. So too, the Hebrew months in the Torah have numbers. Month 1 is Nissan, as we're going to see, because that's the month the Jewish people left Egypt. Okay, month 2 is Iyar. These names, which are actually Aramaic, were given by the rabbis to each month, and each one of these names also has a secret that it can reveal to us about the astrological energy that is latent, that lies within each and every month. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go through the 12 months. We started last week. We're going to pick up, not where we left off. We're going to kind of recap the first 3 months and then finish off. We're going to do 12 months together. And for each month, we're going to look at the Aramaic name, which the rabbis gave with a very specific purpose. We're going to look at the energy that comes with each and every Jewish month. We're going to look at the astrological sign, the symbol that comes with this month. And finally, we're going to somehow try to also implant inside each month or align it, that's probably a better expression, the Jewish tribe and why that tribe is connected to that month. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And let's start right now. So the first month is not Tishrei. That's actually the 7th month, right? But you thought, one second, Rosh Hashanah. That's the first day of Tishrei. Isn't that the Jewish New Year? And the answer is, no, not really. That's when Adam HaRishon, that's when Adam was created and Eve as well. And that is definitely a new beginning, as we're going to see. But we're talking about the Hebrew months. And for the Jewish people, the first month is Nissan, because that's the month we were redeemed from Egypt. And so the first mitzvah given to the Jewish people as a nation was actually while we were still in Egypt. And God said, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. You got to set up a calendar. You got to set up months, Hebrew months. Every single month, we see the moon waxes and wanes. There is Rosh Chodesh. Rosh means head or beginning. Chodesh of newness. Chadash, month. Same word. Chodesh, Chadash, new month. And so there's a renewal that comes with every single month, a new power, a new energy. And so Nissan is the first of the 12 months when we start to number them. When the Torah speaks of month 1, it's talking about Nissan, because that's when we became the Jewish people and we left Egypt and prepared to receive the Torah and go into Israel. So the month is called Nissan, and the energy that comes with that month is redemption. Redemption, because we were redeemed from that month. So that is a month when a person's looking for redemption in their lives. It's a good month to tap into. And of course, it's the month that Pesach falls in, right? Halfway through the month, we celebrate the Jewish holiday of Pesach because that's when we left Egypt. And the sign is Aries, which is the lamb. And you should have realized that's the Paschal lamb, the Korban Pesach, because the Jewish people were led out of Egypt. Just like a lamb is led by the shepherds, so too we were like a lamb. And of course, the lamb was the symbol of Avodah Zarah, of idol worship, because the Egyptians worshipped the lamb. And therefore, God commanded us to kill it and to take the blood and put it onto our doorpost, our mezuzot, which is actually where the mitzvah mezuzah comes from later, and to eat this lamb. Eat this Pascha, and we actually ate their God, small g, okay? And we use that, and every year we bring the Korban Pesach, when the temple stood, as a sacrifice. And the Jewish tribe that is connected to Nissan, so we have Nissan is the month itself, and we were redeemed on it, and the lamb represents the Exodus from Egypt. We were led out, we said. It's an Aries, it's redemption, and Judah is the tribe of royalty, okay? Because our Jewish kings come from the tribe of Judah, like King David, King Solomon, and eventually Mashiach as well, right? He's also obviously going to be a direct descendant of King David. And so Mashiach himself is connected very much because the final redemption, what started with the redemption from Egypt, is going to complete with the redemption from our final exile that we're in today. And that is the power. And that's why the word Pesach means Pesach. We speak because a king rules by his decrees. And we speak the Haggadah, which means to tell over the story of Pesach. So that's month number 1. Month number 2, which obviously Nissan leads into, is Iyar. And Iyar is represented by Taurus, the ox. And the ox represents hard work, because it's the ox, right, that leads the produce, meaning the plow, and it allows us to work the land. It's a very, very powerful animal. And so the tribe that is connected to that is Issachar. Issachar were the Torah learners, and they're the ones who work hard, right? Helping us to prepare for Sivan, which is going to be the month that the Torah is given in. So the energy that comes with this month of Iyar, the second Hebrew month, is hard work. The ox, the Taurus, and Issachar are the ones who used to teach the children, right? And would learn Torah as much as possible. And they represent the hard spiritual work that is needed, that's going to help us prepare for the third month. And the third month is Sivan. Now, Sivan is Gemini, or the twins. What twins are we talking about when we talk about Sivan? Well, the twins, there's two opinions. One opinion is that it's God and the Jewish people, because Sivan is the month that we receive the Torah. And so God twins together with us and faces us, and we are together as we are ready to receive the Torah. And there's a feeling with twins of unity, of achdut, us and God, just like a bride and a groom. These twins also represent the Chatan and the Kala, because we married God at Mount Sinai, where we receive the Torah at Mount Sinai. So this twinning of the Jewish people and God culminated in the month of Sivan, and therefore the energy that comes with this month is unity, in Hebrew, achdut. Now, what's fascinating is that the Jewish tribe that's connected with this month is Zevulun. Now, Zevulun is a very interesting tribe, because actually they were merchants. They were seafarers, and they're represented by the ships, because they were always at the harbor importing and exporting goods from the land of Israel. And that's where they were situated. Why, in the month of unity, right, the month of us and God coming together, is Zevulun there? They were business people. They weren't involved in Torah like the previous month, Issachar. And the answer is, my friends, because Zevulun used to make the money and they would share it and support the rest of the Jewish people, specifically another tribe, which is Issachar. Issachar were the Torah learners we just mentioned. They represent Iyar, and Zevulun represent Sivan, because en Kemach and Torah, if you don't have the financial means to support Torah, you're not going to get anything at all, right? It costs to be Jewish, right? To have a Jewish life. And so they had the merit, this tribe had the merit of financial success, because they gave charity and they supported the rest of their brothers in the land of Israel through the money they made from their ships and their business. So Sivan, unity, the twins, which is also Issachar and Zevulun, these two tribes that learned and worked and supported each other. Okay? One of them accrued benefit from the learning, and the other accrued the benefit from their financial support, right? And that is Zevulun. That takes us into Tammuz. Now, Tammuz is a very interesting month, and Tammuz actually has a challenging part to it, because on the 17th of Tammuz, we have a fast day, Shiva Asar Tammuz, that leads us for 3 weeks into the month of Av, that we're going to talk about in a moment. Now, actually, the word Tammuz is a force of desire, because it also begins the summer. The summer is now beginning, and the Aramaic translation, Tammuz, the word literally means heating, to heat up. So now the world is heating up, but also our desire is heating up, because summer's here and we're outside and doing a lot of things. But also we can take the heat and make it into light. That is the ability that we can do in this month. And the sign of this month is the crab, Cancer. Why? Because the crab is out in the water and the water is just flowing all over it. And what does the crab do? It kind of hides away in order to protect itself. It's not a vicious animal. It's kind of like there. Its home is in the water, which flows freely and unrestrained, okay, unless it's blocked. Okay, so Tammuz begins the summer months, and you're free to go, but at some point, you've got to be like a crab. The crab goes into its shell, and at some point, you have to stop and retreat into your shell and have a little bit of inner evaluation, just as the summer is beginning, when people kind of go out and do a lot of crazy things. The energy that comes with this month is actually clarity of vision. Tammuz is clarity of vision. okay? Because now you're outside and you are seeing, and that is what we have the ability to do well. Now, the Hebrew, the tribe that goes together with this month of Tammuz is Reuven, and the tribe Reuven were known as very impetuousness. They were like flowing water. That's how they're actually described. They're out like flowing water. And Jacob had to restrain this particular son and said, you got to take it easy. You're very strong and powerful. You have strong impulses, which represent the heat of the summer. Just stop, retreat, and take it easy. And see what you need to do. And the name Reuven comes from the word Ru'u, to see. That's actually the root of the word. So the energy that comes with Tammuz is seeing clearly, or it is the power of inner light and inner eye that comes with it. It was actually in this month where the Jewish people didn't see clearly. They failed in this mission, and that is because we sinned with the golden calf. Okay, that actually happened on Shiva Asar Tammuz. So this month has a strong potential for danger, which is why the 3 months of which have elements of mourning in it actually appears over here as well. Seeing well and seeing through falsehood. There's a lot of sheker, a lot of falsehood in the world when this month comes around. And Tammuz is Tam. Be simple and be pure inside yourself. Okay, so that's where this month is actually coming from, which takes us into the next month, which is Av. Now, what started in Tammuz actually ended up in Av, because actually on the 9th day of the month in Av, the first and second temple were destroyed. The Jewish people were expelled from Spain in 1492 on the 9th of Av as well. I believe Auschwitz opened on this 9th of Av as well. This is a very challenging month. Well, actually the beginning of the month is very, very challenging. However, it's got an unusual name. Av means father. Okay, actually in Hebrew as well as Aramaic, because God, our Father in heaven, is with us even during the most challenging times. And it's about listening. The month before, which was Tammuz, was clarity of vision. You see, and then you've got to listen. And listening always connotes understanding, right? Shema. And the tribe that goes together with this makes sense. That's Shimon. And Shimon comes from Shema, to listen. So the tribe of Shimon were associated and aligned together with this idea of listening and understanding as well. Okay? And it's actually the sin of listening to bad things, because every month has potential for good or bad. And actually, we listened to the report of the spies when they came back from Israel and gave a bad report, which ended up with us not being able to enter into Israel for 40 years because of the sin that happened in the month of Av. What happened? The spies came back. They gave a bad report. They spoke Lashon Hara about the land of Israel, and the Jewish people listened and believed what they listened to. And so the idea of Av is about trying to purify the ability of listening, the power of Shmiyah, okay? Because this month has potential for great listening, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, but also has the power for us to listen to bad things which can lead to destruction, okay? So we're working on speech, correct speech, and listening and accepting this ability of listening as well. Which takes us into the next month. And the next month, already we're on a trajectory towards Teshuvah, which is repentance. Because this month is an unusual month. Elul has no Jewish holidays in it. And usually, we're going to see later on when we get to Cheshvan, is a bad thing, but not Elul. Elul has no holidays in it, which is usually a good thing. However, it's preparation for the month after. Because the month after Elul, we're going to see, is Tishrei. And Tishrei has Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and 7 days of Sukkot, right? With Shemini Atzeret as well, the 8th day. So Tishrei is going to be chock-a-block, full, like a pomegranate, full of potential mitzvot and goodness. but Elul doesn't. Because you can only be worthy of Tishrei, my friends, if you work and fix on Elul. So Elul, the energy that goes with Elul is preparation to return. Because obviously on Rosh Hashanah and then Yom Kippur, we are preparing ourselves to return to God. Did I miss out? Av is Leo the lion, right? Because it takes tremendous power, right, to overcome. Sorry, I missed that out. That's Av is listening and have a strength of a lion that a person needs to have to get through that month. Elul, preparing to return, is Virgo, the virgin, the young female maiden. And so we are purifying ourselves and staying very, very simple during this month to prepare ourselves and to cleanse ourselves and be pure and simple to take us into Tishrei so that we are worthy of Rosh Hashanah and, of course, Yom Kippur. And so Elul goes together with the month afterwards, which is Tishrei. And it makes sense because there are 40 days from the first day of Elul till Yom Kippur. That's 30 days of Elul. And then the first 10 days of Tishrei, which end up with the 10th of Tishrei, which is Yom Kippur. And the number 40 always represents a number, another discussion, which we will do, God willing, but the number of purity and perfection and working on yourself, okay? And really humbling yourself before God. So we're preparing to return. And what's fascinating is the tribe that comes with that month, and that is the tribe of Gad. Now, Gad, actually the name of the month Elul means to search. And actually the letters Elul spell Anila Dodiva Dodeli. I am my beloved, and my beloved is me. Just like the young maiden who's preparing to get married, okay, is preparing herself for her future husband, and the husband preparing himself for the wife. So in Elul we're searching ourselves, and we're taking a personal cheshbon hanefesh, accounting of our souls during this time. Now the tribe of Gad means group. Gad means group. So the tribe of Gad is aligned with this month because we are going to group ourselves together. We're going to work on not just ourselves, but our relationships to other people, and actually ask other people for forgiveness to prepare us for Rosh Hashanah and then eventually Yom Kippur. So we have like an arc, if you will, ARC. It's going to take us from the beginning right through Elul, when we're going to come close to God. I am my beloved is mine. That's our reference to God during this month, preparing us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And that is God. Actually, according to Kabbalah, the feminine attributes rule this month. Okay, every month is either male or female. This is a female month, and Elul is rooted in a deeper understanding of the self. And that's why the young maiden is representative of this month as well. Okay, so that's Elul, prepared to return, the Virgo, maiden, and the tribe of Gad, which takes us to Tishrei. Now, Tishrei is the month, as we said, that Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot comes in. So this is returning. We were preparing to return in Elul. Now we are actually returning and coming closer to God at this time. And that's Libra, which is the scales, which makes sense. Right? The Moznayim is the astrological sign because God is weighing up. Did we do a good job in Elul? Did we do a good job in the first 10 days of Tishrei? And God is weighing up our good deeds on the scale against our bad deeds. And so the Libra, the Moznayim, everything is being weighed in heaven during this time. And then we take that energy of repentance that we did for 10 days to lead us, Aseret Shemei Teshuvah, 10 days of repentance, into Yom Kippur, and then we literally throw ourselves into the Sukkah, as if to say, God, Teshuvah, repentance is God, and now we're going to jump into the Sukkah in order to be together with you. And the tribe that goes together with that is Ephraim. Ephraim is the tribe, and Ephraim means fruitful, expressing our wish that our union with God will have very fruitful benefits, and our relationships that we've now built up, because we've apologized to all the people we wronged before Yom Kippur, and now hoping that all of our relationships and our success will become fruitful. And that, of course, is Teshuvah, and that could be one of the reasons that we decorate with fruit inside this, one of the deeper reasons why we decorate the Sukkah with fruit as well. Okay, so that's now the amazing month of Tishrei. Elul was empty, Tishrei was full, And now we're going to start to creep into the winter months, which aren't so easy. And we're going to start with Cheshvan. Cheshvan is the beginning of the winter months, and the energy is bitterness and cold. Bitterness and cold. And it's Scorpio, the scorpion, because the bite of the scorpion is considered to be cold and a very, very bitter. And it symbolizes the danger of approaching life without passion and heat, because you now get into the winter, it's cold. And the Hebrew name of this month, tribe, is Menashe. And Menashe are the same letters as Neshima, to breathe. And actually the energy that comes with this month is bitterness and cold, but it's also the power to smell. To smell. Because although we can't see the holidays during this month, and it's not a good time, nevertheless, you can smell there is some goodness in the air itself. Obviously, you can't see the smell, but you can still feel it. And the power of smelling is a very spiritual power, because in the Garden of Eden, the rabbis tell us, actually more of a mystical idea, the Adam and Eve sinned. They saw the tree and they heard God's command and they tasted and they touched it, but they never smelled the fruit, which means this idea of smelling is still very, very pure. The idea of reach stayed a very pure sense that is still there. And so we have the ability to breathe in and somehow breathe life into this otherwise very empty and cold month of Cheshvan. It's actually referred to as Mar Cheshvan. It's called bitter because there are no Jewish holidays. But if you can work on this deeper power of smelling, of the idea of smelling, Hebrew word is lahariach, to smell, because we are breathing in. Ruchniut, reach is ruchniut, which is spirituality. So that is the power that comes with Cheshvan, bitterness and cold, just like the cold bite of the scorpion, where you have the ability to Menashe, is the tribe, is to Neshima, to breathe in, to smell goodness, even at the most difficult, coldest, darkest times. Which takes us into Kislev. And Kislev is the heart of winter, but it has inside it having faith in God. That's the energy. Trust is the energy that comes with the month. And it's the month, of course, that Chanukah appears in. And we have faith and trust in God, which led to the Chanukah miracle, which is obviously a very great month. And Kislev has inside it, although we're in the heart of winter darkness, to bring light. And light represents faith in God himself. And that's what the Jewish people have the ability to tap into, just like the Maccabees, right, the Hasmoneans, were able to do at this time. The Hebrew word Kislev derives from a Hebrew word which is kesel, which can mean confidence or trust. So feel confident in this month that good things and miracles can happen to the Jewish people, and we're going to light the menorah. We start lighting this month. Actually, it's a very weird thing. Hanukkah is the only holiday I can think of that actually goes into 2 different months. What starts in Kislev is actually going to continue into Tevet, that we're going to get to in a moment, okay? So Hanukkah has the power of open miracles. And actually the tribe that goes together with that is the tribe of Binyamin, because they possessed valiant warriors, because the Temple Mount and Jerusalem, parts of Jerusalem, were actually in their hands. Right? That fell into the tribe of Binyamin. So they were involved in this battle as well, because they were situated around the temple when the Hanukkah miracle occurred. That's what happened, yeah? And that's represented by, that's Sagittarius, is Kislev. Sagittarius is the month of Kislev, and that is the bow, because the bow represents the first rainbow that was seen after the flood of Noah. And this symbolizes the pact that God made with mankind to never destroy the world again. And so the darkest time of the year, we're shown the rainbow in this month to say that we will survive and will get through the most difficult challenges that come to our people. And that's Binyamin, which are Jerusalem and Temple Mount as well, in that area, in that region. And that is Kislev, and that is the bow, right? The bow, the arrow, but also the bow, the arc of the rainbow, that God is always with us, okay? And that's trust. Which takes us into the next month, which is Tevet. Now, the month of Tevet, it's all good. It's all good, because the word Tevet comes from the Hebrew word, because it's Aramaic, tov, which means good. And the goodness we're going to work on this month, the energy that comes with this month, is specifically the good of the eye. The good of the eye. Seeing good in difficult and challenging situations. And this is Capricorn. It's all good. We want to have a good eye for other people. And the month comes with the tribe of Dan. Okay? Dan was the tribe which comes from din, which is judgment. Okay, so you have to judge situations. This is the month where you're going to have to, it's still dark, it gets dark out, and you're going to have to kind of figure out exactly what's good. Use your eye for the good and make a judgment call on exactly what you're looking at. So the work of this month is judging other people favorably. Have a good eye, an ayin tov, not the opposite, which is an ayin hara, which is not a good thing. And the sign, of course, is Capricorn, which is the goat. What is the goat doing over here in this month? A mature goat, even a ram. And we know that the goat is a domesticated animal, right? A shepherd cares for it, just as we are supported and sustained by a loving God. It's also a stubborn animal with maturity and understanding. We're able to resist temptations and be stubborn as well. People want to lead us astray, but the goat is a very stubborn. When you're trying to grab a goat and get it to go somewhere, it's going to fight you. So it's domesticated, has the power to be domesticated. You have the ability to turn this month into goodness by domesticating it like a goat, but also people could be stubborn and not follow the right path, okay? Or once they're on the right path, it's hard to get them off it. Okay, so that's really, and that is what Dan is about, judging people well, trying to lead yourself to do that and really force yourself like a shepherd tries to get the goat or the ram to do the right thing. That's a very difficult thing. So it's going to be hard work, and you're going to have to work on a good eye, judging din, judging other people favorably during the month of Tevet. Okay? Or if you're born in this month, obviously, you're going to be part of that as well. Next, we come to my birthday month, which is Aquarius, and this is Shvat. Shvat is the penultimate, the one before last of the months, and Shvat is the water bearer. It is actually the bucket that holds the water. What does this water of Shvat actually refer to? And it's actually the water of Torah. The water of Torah, and we fill this month. This month has the power, Aquarius has the power to disseminate and to give out waters of truth and life-giving spiritual waters to all the other tribes. This is the month of Torah, and it's still the winter month. Okay, it's still dark outside, and you're able to bring Torah into the long evenings. So pick up a book during this month and learn. But actually, the energy of this month, as well as Torah, is actually healthy eating. Healthy eating. It's actually the month that Tu B'Shvat falls in. That's the birthday of the trees, as well as my birthday, which is the 18th of Shvat. You can put it down. You want to send me wine? No problem. And the fruit of the trees start to get fed by the sap. It's the winter. There's no fruit coming out, but the sap is now rising up in the trees in the dead of winter in order to feed these fruits and to bring them out later on as we get to the springtime. So it's healthy eating. You've got to work your eating habits during this particular month of the water carrier, Aquarius, because that's when Tu B'Shvat falls into. And the tribe of Asher is the tribe that falls in this particular month. And the Hebrew name Asher is related to the word mean Osher, which means happiness or bliss. There's great potential for happiness because you want to be happy learning Torah, and happiness through good, healthy eating. And also Ashrei, which is fortunate. Fortunate because we are now tapping into the sap, the energy that is going to feed the trees for the rest of the year. And we are fortunate that we have the Torah. Okay, because that's the water, right? The life-giving spiritual waters. The people in this tribe are usually the people who are very out there helping other people. The Aquarians, they are water carriers. They're spreading a spiritual message to the rest of the world. And Ashrei, praiseworthy, are the people who tap into the right energy and don't get drowned, heaven forbid, by those waters, but use it as an energy to lift up the rest of the year. So we've reached now our final month, okay? Our final month, which is the month of Adar. And actually, the month of Adar is the 12th month, which why sometimes there's two Adars in order to keep the solar and lunar cycle together. Another discussion, not for now. And Adar, of course, is a very amazing month. What a great way to finish the year, because this is the month with the energy of laughter. Schok, laughter. And that is represented by Pisces, the fish, the tribe of Naftali. We'll see in a moment. Why? Because this, my friends, is the month of Purim. And Purim is all about laughter. And that's why Pisces falls here as well. Because what's laughter? Something's going one way, and then, boom, there's another fish going the other way. So the opposite directions of these fish represent the symbol, the astrological sign of this month of Pisces. Because the Jewish people seemed like they're going to drown. Haman was going to kill us. And this month has potential for death, but it also has potential for great redemption as well. It looks like it's going this way, and suddenly things can turn around, and suddenly we are moving like these two fish that are moving that way, and that's actually what makes us laugh, right? What's a joke? A joke is going this way, and suddenly the punchline comes and turns it on its head, and what do? We laugh. And so this month has a potential for badness, but we have the straight potential to turn it around and to flip it on its head. And actually, Moshe Rabbeinu died on 7th of Adar in this month. However, he was also born on it. So there's this double kind of like cohort that's kind of going together and falling in this month. What has this got to do with Naftali? What has this got to do with the tribe of Naftali? So Naftali actually were the swiftest. They used to go very, very fast, and they were the swiftest of the sons of Jacob. They were known as being fast. They got the job done. And that's what happened in Adar. It looks like everything's going terrible, like the Purim story is just an example of that. And when things look like they can be bad, suddenly, Yeshuat Hashem, Keheref Ayin. God's redemption can come in the blink of an eye, and that's Naftali. Naftali represent great speed, right? They can turn things around really quickly, as only God could do that, right? When we try to turn things around, it takes weeks, months, years, like a big ship to turn it around takes time. But God can turn things around on a dime. The redemption can happen in a second, just like it did in the Purim story. So Adar it's going this way, not looking good, and bang, it goes that way instead. That's Pisces. The people of this month are people who can bring laughter and joy to other people. They represent great speed. Usually the people who get stuff done very quickly. There's a potential of danger that you can get things done and not do it right. So it has to be a controlled speed that comes together with this month. So that's laughter, that's Pisces, and that's the tribe of Naftali. It looks like it's going one way, and God can turn it around. And that completes our entire year. Hopefully I covered it all, didn't leave anything out. What starts at Nissan with great redemption completes and ends on Adar with laughter. Because when do you laugh? At the punchline. And when does the punchline appear? At the end of the joke. So it makes sense that the laughing month, which is Purim month, which is Adar, where everything just turns around for the Hafachu, appears at the end of the year, because you look back like the last page of the novel, right? The last scene in the movie, it all makes sense. In Adar, you're able to look back at the year and be like, I laugh at all the challenges that happened and occurred during the entire year. I laugh at it because now we have the ability to turn it all around, and whatever happened during the previous 11 months, Adar comes along and says, we can laugh it off and turn it all around. And that's the energy of Purim, which Mordechai and Esther were able to tap into in order to turn it all around. Friends, that's the secrets, the deep secrets that we touched upon of the 12 Hebrew months. That's the energy that we can tap into during those months. Those are the names that were given to the months in Aramaic to represent the power. And of course, That is the tribe that is aligned together with each of those months as well. Thank you all for listening. We've come to an end. Wow, that's 40 minutes gone very quickly. This class will be available on Instagram and on Facebook. And tomorrow, if you're around 12 p.m., I will be speaking on 10 from 20. 10 ideas which I picked up from the year 2020 that I want to share with you. Certain reflections I'd like to give each and every one of you on the year, at the end of the month of December for 2020, and God willing, a successful and healthy 2021. So please join us for that, 12 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a great evening.